Hello, welcome back to another video. We're actually live on Twitch. If you guys want to see these replay analysis live, then make sure to come and follow the Twitch. First time we're doing it, so it doesn't happen often, but here we are. This player is GC, got a GC2 player here. He says he bought the game in 2015, didn't actually start playing it until 2017. GC1 since the first season 11, and he's hit GC every season that I've played since. He says his work forced him away for months on end. Didn't play in season 12 three seasons about a year ago. I've never really improved since then due to work taking a lot of time. Hit GC2 in 1s, 2s, at 3s at some point. I'm trying to eventually hit SSL, but tired of being stuck in GC1 forever. I feel like my boost management is fairly decent and my challenges are good. My defense is fairly good as well. For the most part, I'm a solid rugby player when it comes to basic fundamentals of the game. And he feels like his weaknesses are inconsistencies, huge climbs in rank, and then losing a lot depending on the day. He feels like he's one day a brick wall and snipe everything, and then the next not be able to hit the ball well at all. And his turns are slower than they should be compared to a lot of people's mechanics. At my rank, I'm nowhere near as mechanical as them. He doesn't know how to do the fancy stuff. I never feel comfortable enough to bring it out of free play. I stick to flicks and power shots, and I give away too much possession a lot of the time. Okay, let's get into this one. And let me pull up a couple things about this guy. All right, this player, I've already obviously looked at this replay. The main themes that we're going to be speaking about is he lacks a lot of confidence and urgency, especially on the ball. Doesn't really make something happen, basically. He basically doesn't outplay a single opponent in this entire replay. So we're going to speak about that at some point. He doesn't push up enough. Like I said, he doesn't make urgent, quick decisions on the ball. I already said that. And he lets the play come to him. He doesn't really bring it to everyone else. This player is very good at challenges. He's correct about that. His challenges are pretty much spot on from what I've seen in this replay. And he's got pretty decent recovery. He's fairly solid movement overall, which contrasts to what he was saying about he feels like he turns a little bit slower. He actually has decent movement. However, we're coming up to the first big mistake of the game. And you'll see that he doesn't rotate wide. In this position, we can't just simply go back to net at all. We're also rotating way too quickly, okay? Because the play, there's no direct shot coming on target in the next half a second. It means we don't have to rush back to net as soon as we're trying to do here, right? We just want to take a fairly wide looping angle, I would say, around, that is way too big, around that way. Don't know why the thing is that big. Can I reduce this? I can't. I'll have to do that manually. But yeah, you want to rotate like that to the back post or to the near post that is in that position instead of just going to net straight away here. We're also going to speak about at some point how we can, I'd say, practice a little bit more efficiently because this player says he doesn't have too much time in his day to play. So we'll go over that at some point in here. This is fine spacing. Fine. Yeah, just force him to the corner. Nice. Nice. Oh, okay. All right, heavy touch, but that's not. It's not the end of the world here. Would have obviously liked if we can control this, but that's just a mechanical error. We're not going to speak all day long about this one. Very nice 50 here. This is really good. And this is the second, I would say, big mistake of the game. Really quickly, Henry, I appreciate the prime. Big second mistake of the game. We're just rotating out too quick from this play, in my opinion. We don't really need to go behind our teammate here. I think we have time to go for a bump, demo and boost steal. One of those couple of things, if not both. I would rotate through this big boost pad here and try and get behind the opponents. We don't need to be back because there's no real angle for our opponents to attack quickly, and get on target fast. So there's no real threat, okay? The angle of the ball is going across the pitch where is it? This, okay? It's going across the pitch like this, and there's no one here in this position to just come and attack the ball straight down the middle towards our goal. They have to come from the side, which gives us a little bit of time, usually, not all the time. Rocket League, Rocket League's a game where situations are different, of course, but usually it will give us time to just make things awkward for them. Go for a boost steal, go for a bump, and get behind them. Make it easy for your teammate to get free possession and make it hard for your opponents to actually be comfortable. Simple as that, okay? So yeah, get behind them here. Go for a couple of bumps, because if you focus on the player that's not on the ball in this position and demo him, who knows? This player has now he's now aerialed and he's out the position, out of the play for half a second. Your teammate could get a quick touch into an open net if you bumped the player that's not on the ball from the other team here. Being here, it doesn't really give you a solid play on the situation as much as you would have had if you're just in their face and trying to get a bump. Sometimes I think throughout this replay we're going to see a lot of situations where you're just not doing enough and you're just letting the play come to you. Like I said, here we're just letting the play come to us. We don't want to do that. If you look at every single pro player in the game, at some point in their kind of journey in ranked, they wouldn't have been a player that's just purely defensive the whole time. I promise you. Everyone is just making it awkward for their opponent. We're not there, at least. Really nice challenge. Get a solid block on the ball. Let me get our boost amount back here. Decent challenge again. You're really good at 50s. I genuinely mean that. Every 50 you get in this replay is honestly pretty good. It's one of your massive strengths, 50s and challenges. This isn't a 50, but I count it as one. And I know that sounds stupid, but you'll see what I mean. I'll just let this situation play out here. That's the whole situation that is quite actually a big mistake here. This is a really specific tip, but it does, and it only applies to this situation, but this situation happens a lot. So that's why I'm kind of bringing this up. You don't want, you're getting caught in between two mindsets here, in my opinion, of keeping the ball close and trying to hit far away, okay? And you do a little bit of in between where you just tap it and it goes to your opponent like this. If we want to keep this ball close here, okay, which sometimes we will because we don't want to hit it to the opponent. Since we need to buy time for our teammate to get back, sometimes the favorable play is to take a soft touch and then take a 50 after. We don't do that here. If we want to do that, we can't flip into the ball. As soon as you flip into the ball, you have to recover. You have to continue the flip and make sure your card turns around. Okay, that's simple. We're out the play. That's the point, right? We're not going to get a second touch on the ball, at least one that we can dictate. Okay, so you want to either take a single jump and just let the ball touch you and then try and get a 50. Your whole mindset here has to be to buy time for our teammate to get back. We're not trying to attack. We're just trying to get the ball away from our opponent or buy enough time, keeping it close to where we can take a 50, okay? So either single jump, keep it close, and take a 50 after. Hard to do that. The best thing for you to do in this position is to try and get underneath the ball and pop it fairly high away from the opponent, all right? You're not focused on getting too much distance on hits like this. Just focus on getting it high and to the side, because that's going to buy time, again, for your teammate to get back and also you to recover after. What we do here is something a lot of low-ranked players do every single time, and they will do it even if you drive the ball to them along the ground behind the ball. As long as you're hidden behind the ball and then break last second before they touch the ball, they're going to flip into it, okay? Your opponent will flip into it a lot at lower ranks. So if you can get ahead of that and break that habit of just flipping into balls like this and just giving away possession where there's just a kind of 3 car length of space and just hitting it into that space, it's not good. If you can break that habit, great. Because now it's awkward for our teammate. He has to defend the 1v1, and luckily he did. But we didn't help out there. We didn't buy enough time for him to get back. Really nice challenge again. Covered that well. Here I want you to go for a demo. Your opponent's flipping out, so you know that your opponent's going all the way back, all right? So you need to just demo the last guy, all right? If you demo him, you have a free possession. Perfect. Again, another perfect challenge. Your challenges are genuinely very, very spot on. Just drive challenge. You want to apply pressure. This is for everyone that is lower ranked than this. Drive challenges are one of the best things to implement into your game, now, especially in 1s and 2s. If you want to apply pressure but don't want to fully commit, just drive challenge. You'll either demo or bump the opponent and get the ball off them with them hitting it past you, or you can just sometimes go through the ball and win the 50 and get a demo. They're just perfect in situations like this, where you don't want to fully commit, but still want to apply pressure and make it awkward for your opponent. That's very good. Okay. This 50 is fine. This is the only 50, only challenge in this replay where it's like, it could go bad if you do this 100 times, right? Sometimes flipping into positions like this, where it's very near to the wall, isn't exactly recommended in my opinion, because again, this just happens where we just hit the wall and we take a little bit of time to recover. In this instance, not an issue because our teammate gets onto the ball, obviously. I just want to point that out, that it is something to think about. Flipping into challenges near the wall can be bad. Nice, good. Okay, massive mistakes about to come up here, and this is one thing where I want you to start breaking this. Now, I'm going to say this. Someone in my chat, because Squishy is a very well-respected player and deservedly so, you know, and you guys probably watch his videos and learn a ton from them, as everyone has throughout the years. Someone in my chat said Squishy's telling in every video of his road to SL that you should let the play come to you. Now, I understand what he means by that, and I agree in some sense, but I said at the start that you want to start enforcing, you know, the play onto your opponents. I think what he means is that sometimes you don't want to overcomplicate things. I'm assuming, I don't watch his videos anymore, but I'm assuming that's what he means, and you don't want to overcomplicate things too much, because a lot of players, they do try and do too much on the ball. They try and make stuff happen too much, okay? The reason I say you want to kind of make the play happen onto your opponents, or you know, force it onto your opponents, is because a lot of players who get stuck in certain ranks, in my opinion, they just are so defensive. They have like a cap on where they will improve to, right? And I promise you, that's what I believe in, and I see it time and time again. You have to break that cap, and a lot of that is confidence. You know, where does confidence come from? You know, Verge told me when I was coached by Verge. He said, hang on real quick. He says, if the opponent's going to get to the ball before you let the play come to you. Okay, that's obviously very different. Yeah, and that's completely fair. That's absolutely right. Completely right, yeah. Back to the point, one of my old coaches, Verge, and a lot of you will know him, he always told me that like confidence is a decision. I never believed him at the time, but it absolutely is. And you guys won't believe me. I don't expect you to, because like I said, I didn't believe him at the time. Why would you believe that having confidence is a decision? But it genuinely is. If you go into games with a set thing in mind that you're going to do, you're going to enforce on your opponents, you're going to focus on, you have had confidence in the preparation of that decision. So confidence, you can extract it from a ton of things. I want you to start extracting it from certain things that you're good at. You need to tell yourself that you're very, very good at challenges. You're very good at 50s. Use those two things to your strength. Every time you're about to go into a 50, like, you know you're going to win it. I promise you, you will receive, or you'll get a lot of positive things from that. At 100%. Okay. I think you lack a ton of confidence in your play so far, and we'll see that throughout this replay, in my opinion. One of those things is just not wanting to push up. Here, I think you don't push up like near enough as you should. All right. A lot of players, and I know a lot of people recommend you just stay in net in positions like this. I don't want you to. I don't at all, because I think it's so, again, I think it's so safe. You're never going to break out of this rank if you do this. I genuinely believe that, because you're just not going to beat your opponent's balls. In this position, your teammate is moving slowly with the ball, okay? It's in the corner. That means that the play is most likely going to move slowly after that, because there's not really anything that can happen. Look at both the opponents. They're both moving fairly slowly. The only thing you have to worry about is your teammate getting bumped off the ball and them taking possession. However, there is not going to come a direct shot on target straight away, okay, without a touch being made first, most of the time from this position. That means if you can get closer, so I want you to be almost here already, that means you can instantly get onto this ball when this is happening and just cut off every angle the shot is coming off of, okay? If this play doesn't happen, which it's not going to happen a lot in this corner, let's say your teammate gets behind the ball, he doesn't get bumped and takes a 50, the player's moving slowly, both the players moving slowly going into the 50, most likely in this position, it's going to be a fairly close 50, a dead ball 50, you're going to get onto a next. Again, I understand that a lot of people are concerned, my teammate in this rank or in these ranks are so bad, I'm just going to cover the net. Sometimes it's more dangerous being far away than it is being closer, and that's my opinion on this situation. The other clearly like glaring mistake here is just pushing out for this small boost pads. When you're in net and you don't need boost, don't try and get it. You're on 85. The difference from 0 to 12 boost is quite drastic. The difference from 85 to 97 is nothing, okay? Absolutely nothing. Still 12, but the things you can do with that 12 extra boost at 85 is nothing. You don't need it, all right? Really nice recovery, really nice reactions on that save, and a very, very good touch to get to the other side where your teammate can get onto it next. I want you to push up closer again. Again, get closer here. Too far away. Speed up, get close. The thing is, you look at it, and we're being really, we're being really pedantic about this, right? But why are we slowing down here? When the most likely play at GC2, we'd hope, is that our teammate actually gets the flick here, all right? I don't know how he's done this, but he doesn't, that doesn't go anywhere. But the most likely play is that goes fairly far and it flicks, okay? You want to be speeding up in that moment because the play is about to speed up. We slow down. Now, I don't know how, but the play did slow down, ended up slowing down. That is not what happens most of the time. Even then, you still want to get closer. You still want to speed up because you're giving your opponent too much space. And again, like we said earlier, this is one thing that happens a ton in these ranks is these players in positions like this, they don't just single jump and take a touch so they can recover quicker, they flip. And that is not a great recovery. That puts the ball a little bit too far away from his car. If you were closer, you get that past him, I tell you. I promise you get that past him and you'll have a possession. So in positions like this, when your teammate has the ball, has possession, and now with the fairly recent update, we know they have boost, you can push up, all right? Get a little bit closer. You should mostly try to stand behind your teammate and not next to him so you can follow up his 50, right? In most cases, yes, you can be slightly offset from them. Like, maybe in this position is fine, this angle. But I would think being here is fine unless your teammate has angle towards that way. And then you want to get closer a little bit more to the side of them because they could pass it and stuff like that. But yeah, being a little bit behind them, like here and closer is the best position there. That's exactly the problem is GC, things don't play out how they're supposed to half the time. I understand, and I said that before, that I understand, like, for example, in the corner beforehand, I don't know when it was, but this play, it didn't play out like we thought it would, or loads of things happen. However, even when things don't play out like we think, like here, it would still be better if we were closer. That's the point, is that it would still be better because we have it. Being closer to the play, guys, doesn't mean you have to go, right? It just means you have more options. Being far away means you have the option to stay far away, right? Being close you now have the option to stay to go back and get far away, or go for the ball. And of course, that you could use that argument and say, well, if you're far away, you have the option to go towards the ball, but because you're so far away, that gives the opponent space to play into, which actually doesn't give you that option a lot of time. So that's my point, is that even when things don't play out, it would have been favorable if we get closer in those two positions. This is great. We're covering like the pass really, really well here. Notice how this player right now isn't too concerned about his net all too much. He's not concerned about the fake. He's just kind of positioned, or he was posturing slightly towards the mid pass. This is really good. Again, this player's challenges, everyone watching this can learn a ton from. Posturing towards the mid, because the player on the ball isn't the dangerous player, because we have a teammate behind us that is going to be covering all the angles for the fake and the shots past us. The player behind the person on the ball, the other teammate, is the dangerous option here, which we have to cover. So we do a really, really good job here of just staying calm. And then we don't, okay? You need to have the confidence that you've done everything right in your challenges. You don't need to panic, all right? This is a really bad turn up the wall, in my opinion. Not terrible. If you want to go up the wall, you have to jump to block like something. Because we turn into this, I understand we might be drive challenging in case they fake and stuff like that. But if they jump like they have, it can get really bad because we're out to play for a little bit. They don't really do anything with the ball. But if they recovered a little bit better, or if this teammate actually let his teammate ground pinch this like he was going to, it could have been bad, okay? So yeah, just be careful with slight turns up the wall when we have 0 boost like that. Was that boost up? Okay, I thought that boost was up. Maybe I'm tripping. I was like, why did we not get it? Okay, yeah, this is a massive mistake. So again, just a huge key theme in this replay is we're not getting behind our teammate and we're not getting close enough. I'm not saying you need to be closer. I'm not saying you need to be, up your teammate's car, but you just need to be behind them. Don't cross over like this because the play is most likely going to stay on this side of the pitch. All right. If you take this mid boost, you're going to be in a far better position. If the play crosses over to, I'm reluctant to use this thing because it's so big. Can I really quickly? Can I get this size down? Where is it? Pen. Oh, here. Okay, sorry. There we go. Because the play is that's way too small. There we go. Okay. Because the play is on this side of the pitch, if it moves over to that side, there's no opponents over here, which means we don't have to cover over here instantly, okay? We don't have to cross over and go over to that side of the pitch. There's no opponents over here, which means that there's no direct passing option over to there and a quick counter-attack down the center of the pitch. We don't need to cross over. There's nothing to cover. We want to stay here and grab this boost because it's most likely going to stay here. If it crosses over from the opponents, that means they've taken time to get there, which gives us the same amount of time to get over and cover it. Okay? It doesn't mean you're going to be first to the ball if we do this. We don't need to be first to the ball. Again, we need to be buying time for our teammates to get back, getting in a bad position. All right? That's our play here. Go for this mid boost and see what happens in this situation. Don't cross over. Because I know it doesn't seem like the biggest thing. And I know it seems like, Jack, you're just being, overanalyzing the situation. But this player, if you want to be getting into GC3 SSL, your aim is SSL. If they were SSL, most of the time they would see that this space, there is so much space down the left side of the pitch here because you've crossed over. And because the player on the other team who was just on the ball here isn't there anymore. He's on low boost, clearly. We can tell that from this play that he's just made. He's crossing over. He's going to take a while to get back. Speed the ball up down the left side of the pitch. You wouldn't double jump there. You'd flip. They would flip the ball away, and they would take a quick 1v1 with you on that other side of the pitch with a free bounce dribble. They can shoot there. That will happen at GC3 SSL, at least SSL. Maybe not GC3 exactly, but yeah, they wouldn't do this. That's not a good use of space there. So you want to be breaking that habit, if it is. It's the first time we've seen it, but I'm just telling you now. So yeah, be careful of that. Again, we're just too passive. Let the opponents make a play. We're such a solid player. Like, I think you're such a solid player. You're very good at challenges. You're very good, in my opinion, defensively. Maybe not like positioning all the time, but we've been making good decisions. Stop just giving them space. We can get onto this ball. Your opponent is backwards, which means we don't have to cover anything here. There's nothing to cover here. Why are we turning here? We've also got a teammate that is going to be in that position. So don't cover here. Just pressure the ball. Your opponent's backwards. They can't do anything. It's hitting the ceiling. You can actually just take a touch there. I know that you might not have fully read that it hit the ceiling because you turned off ball cam right there. And here you went like right, which makes me seem you thought it didn't hit the ceiling and was going to bounce down. But you have to just kind of be aware of that. Even if it's not hitting the ceiling, you can just pressure it slightly. Don't give them this space because it just makes it a little bit more awkward. And if there is no mid boost, someone asked in chat about this position here. If there's no mid boost, we're on 0, I think. Can the replay stop being bugged out? There we go. We're on 0 boost here. It can get a bit awkward. You want to, in my opinion, if you're on 0 boost, cross over to this position. And you play off this pad. And you go maybe here, but you don't want to go really far away. That's the thing. You don't want to go really, really far away. Over to the mid-left boost. Not worth it. Okay. Anyway, hang on. Let me speed up. Sorry. We're here. Okay. Again, a very specific tip. Really quickly, someone asked, where should he be to pressure that ball? You can actually get underneath the ball. The point is, you don't always need to be covering, like, the opponent's backwards. You can be with them. You can try and demo them. Anything that does something on the ball, we back off here. You see, we're not doing anything. We're still forcing them to do something, at least, because we're close enough, but we're not making something happen directly. We're not underneath the ball. You know, you could be that. That's the point here. Okay, another very specific tip, but when your opponent is air dribbling downwards, which does happen a lot, so this is why I'm like telling you this, you can just let them touch the ball, like with a ground pinch, because they're going to give it away. If you want to take a 50, you have to take a 50 when they're about to meet the ground with the ball. If you take a 50 like this, and if you focus on getting height on this touch, which is not a good thing, unless you see a clear outplay around your opponent that you can recover, but we can't really clearly see that here, in my opinion. If you do this all the time, you're going to get dunked. So I don't want you doing this like ever again. You need to just be like, you need to just know they're air dribbling downwards. They don't really have a good play. They're also going to the side of the pitch, which means they're going to go to the corner. Let them ground pinch it away. Go and secure that mid boost if it's here. It's not in this instance. We can stay close just to cover anything close that the opponent has. And then we can challenge. Don't just try and take a 50 like this or a touch like this, because you're going to get dunked a lot of the time. And that, yeah, results in a 1v1. Our teammate did a genuinely, like, awful job of defending this, I'm not going to lie. Like, too far away and basically just watched them go to their net. But we did put him in a tough position. Okay, actually, I want to see us kick off. I don't think you do anything wrong. Use soft G. Yeah, that's fine. Small pads. Yeah, that's fine. And this is why I hate telling players, especially at high ranks, to rotate back post, is because players end up rotating back post in a position like this, and they won't be, there's no one backdoor. So I like that you like kind of cut off your teammate, a lot of people would think here, and go towards the back post there. I think it's fine you go for this. It's a little awkward. I think your teammate, someone needs to turn off ball cam here. I think you should be checking where the opponents are, but it's genuinely not the end of the world. Even though it turns out we're going to see it turn out pretty bad here, I don't want you to like stress over that one. I want you to think about why we're going up the wall again. It's the same play as earlier. How we got the wall with 0 boost or low boost. If we're not jumping at the ball and trying to get a block, and even then it's risky because we might be taking ourselves out of the play if the opponent's fake. Or if we take a bad 50, sometimes happens on 0 boost, can't always control it. You just can't go up the wall with 0 boost here. We're just taking ourselves out of the play. I would much rather, don't use the 8 boost here as well. Again, I know it's such a specific, really small thing, but when we're falling to the ground like this and we're on low boost, don't use it. Don't use your boost unless you, of course, use your own intuition. If you see that you need to use that boost to get to the ground and beat your opponent to a boost race or something, then you need to use it. But in positions like this, never use the same boost. You know, using boost in the air is so like, it's just so like you have to fight against like everything. You have no acceleration in the air with your drive button, so you're never going to go as quickly as you can use it on the ground. So in positions like that, just save it. Again, I know it's one shot, but I'll just mention it in case you haven't kind of thought about it. First massive thing is you want to be waiting for a bounce on a shot like this. Second thing is just, if you do this a lot, stop over air rolling on your shots. Everyone that is watching this video will improve from not air rolling as much on their shots. I'm not going to be one of these guys and just tell you to like never air roll, because I think a lot of people would might improve from that, but it caps you. You have to air roll. You have to know how to do that in the air. But in shots, I think people over air roll all day of the week on those. This is a massive lack of awareness on like a potential bump here. You have to be looking out for the opponent that you have just taken out the play here, or your teammate, whoever did. Your teammate took out an opponent here. He's landing behind you. You have to be aware of it, especially if your teammate is out the play and it's just you for a second. Okay, you have to be checking behind you or listening out. Right, just keeping a a bit more emphasis on hearing your opponent driving up to you, because getting bumped there, it's so commonly going to happen, but we have to be a little bit more aware of it. This play is the main thing that made me like write in my notes for this replay about how you're not urgent on the ball. We have 100 boost, right? Like, we can't be getting dunked by a teammate, by an opponent, sorry, with 0 boost there. If I do this, if anyone does this, it's just a bad play. We've just made a mistake. We have so many options. You know, we should have a teammate that is more positioned towards facing the net and open for this pass, potentially. He's not in this position, so we don't have that. We have space. We have to make something happen. At least make the opponent make a save, right? We can't be getting dunked here. Simple as that. And then we take a winning 50. We've technically won the 50 forward. But have we really won the 50? Chat, I'm I'm streaming right now. Guys, have we won this 50? The ball goes into the corner, and it lets both of our opponents who were on 0 to 12 boost to get boost, and to both of them to get boost. I think this guy is probably going to at least grab a couple small pads. In fact, he's going to grab this back boost over here. So technically, we've won the 50 forward. We've absolutely lost this 50 outcome, right? They get possession, they get boost, and we had a really good play with space. Someone in my chat says he has 77 and goes for 100. It was a replay bug. He has 0 here. Yeah, if you have 77 in a position like this where you see your opponent flipping towards the corner, you just take a really heavy touch and try and beat this guy's speed to the corner compared to your speed to the goal, and take a 1v1, basically. But yeah, we have a 0 here. We have to take that boost. But I want you to flick this at least. Put it high. Put it high above the crossbar. Make it awkward. We don't have to score. I'm not asking you to score. Just make something happen. Be a little bit more urgent on your possessions. Again, a super specific tip, but GC2, it's like it's a rank full of... At this rank, it's a lot of specifics. It's like, in positions like this, where if you're ceiling challenging, which I don't mind here, if you're doing that, you need to be covering more of the middle of the pitch, because that's where the angle is around you. Even if you cover the middle of the pitch, it's still going to be most of the play where your opponent will push into from this position. So covering the side, it's just too easy to beat. And I'll show you that from what it looks like from our opponent's point of view. That's what it looked like. He didn't even try and beat you. He obviously flipped here, but it's not like he was really going wide with this to get around you. He just went pretty straight on. Okay, so next time you do a challenge like that, you really need to cover the mid as your main priority. Would going up the wall for an edge will be too slow, someone asked. I don't mind that. No, not at all. Like, for example, if this guy was on 0, which he is, and he's going for 100 boost here, and we already have the boost, let's say we have 100 before we need to grab this one, then yes, I would not take it wall, because we can just beat this guy's speed from him to the corner from here compared to us to the goal. We beat his speed, and we speed the ball up, and we take the 1v1 with this guy who's now isolated for a second or two. But going up the wall would give him time. But if in this position where the opponents weren't both on low boost, going up the wall is completely fine there, because you don't really have any space or time or boost advantage to capitalize on. But yeah, anyway, we take a hard clear here. That's fine. Don't mind it. Obviously, give away possession, but it's not the end of the world. We make our opponent actually quite awkward. If we didn't mess up our recovery there, we could have maybe made something happen there. So it's not the end of the world. Good 50. Is this mid boost up? It is. Okay. This is fine. You want to take a touch to the corner or just across the pitch like that. Good. And yeah, this is going to be like a clear 1v1 that we mess up on massively here. Again, a super specific tip. But again, the next time you're making touches like this, you have to act urgently, more urgently. As soon as you take a touch, you want to be driving down the wall, okay? Because driving across the wall like this, we're driving across the wall. The ball is going towards the net. We're getting further and further away as time goes on, okay? Next second we're further away. It's just closer to our opponent as well. We're not getting onto the ball. We've hit it. We're just not urgent with it. I actually want to see you go up the wall with this, because I think you lack a lot of confidence, and you said it in your message to me that you lack a ton of confidence in going for certain plays compared to in-game, compared to free play, stuff like that. Go up the wall. You have to... There's no secret like tip to it, but you just have to force yourself to do it in game to get better at it. I know it sounds annoying, I know it's hard, but the best thing to do is to just like give it a go. The worst thing you do is you don't score. But the worst thing we did here was we didn't score. So it's the same thing, right? So you have to just go for it, unfortunately. Okay. Again, massive, like, we're 30 seconds away from the game and we're down a goal. We're just not speeding up quick enough. And I know that you thought in this position that the player wasn't going to touch this ball because he's going backward. He's going like back to net. He's going to leave the ball to roll up the wall. You might turn on it. And that's why you cross over to this side of the pitch slightly just to cover that. But for like a brief second, that's, I think, what he was thinking. Unless he was just going for this small boost pad. I think that's what he could be doing as well. But if that's what he was doing, that's way worse because there's so many boost pads in front of you. You don't need that one, right? We need to flip here. As soon as you know that your teammate at least has a 50, with 30 seconds left to goal down, flip, get speed, and push up. Yeah, because that could have been open for us. That challenge would be really bad if we weren't 30 seconds down. It could still be considered bad. I don't care that you did this and missed him because he's going for a drive challenge with a demo. You missed the demo. If you want to get a little bit better at this, you want to actually just turn full cam off when going for plays like that so you can really focus on the car. Because if you did get the demo here, I think Bingy, this player here, gets onto the ball first in this position, even though he has really low boost. But at least he's on low boost then, and your teammate can maybe get possession off him because he's on low boost. So I don't mind that challenge with such a little time left and a goal down. Just not urgent again. Close touch, we're not boosting already. We're letting it come to us, you know. It's just that I know it's like half a second, like a tenth of a second delay on your decisions, but it's really the difference right now. And this is just going to be a really good play by our opponent, and we're not going to be able to save this. This is just a nice shot. Okay. Well, yeah, I genuinely mean it when I think we didn't outplay a single opponent the whole game, and that's not like a diss at all, like a harsh thing. I just don't think it happened. If it happened, it was like a 50, and your 50s are really good. Your challenges are great, but we didn't outplay any opponent this whole game with the ball like on top of our car, like at all. Like we need to like definitely increase our confidence. You need to take things from the things you're good at and actually focus on them in the game. Because that is the thing that will give you the most confidence. And that's the thing that everyone gets confidence from. Everyone has an ego about something. You have to find what you have an ego about and use that to your advantage. And still, even then, you're going to have to work on pushing up, getting closer to your teammates, getting more in the play, maybe getting behind your opponent's kind of line and getting some demos, getting some boost steals. Be a little bit more of an awkward player I want you to focus on. Be a bit more of a player that is now focused on trying to make something happen all the time. It doesn't mean you have to overcomplicate things you're doing on the ball. That's not what I'm pointing at. But you at least want to have something that is making the opponents awkward with what you're doing at most times in the game, whether it's a boost steal, a bump, an outplay on the ball, or pressuring the ball with a drive, one of your really good drive challenges that you've been so good at this game. One of those things, I want you to try and always be doing something. There will be a slight period of time where you focus on this and you're going to overcommit and stuff like that. But I would much rather you overcommit and learn from it than stay back this entire game. Because I guarantee, every time it's like actually every single time, apart from that one time that I advanced through that replay, we're like behind the ball, we're back, and we're like very far back, and we're defending almost. And I know that's a coincidence. It was like every time there that we just go through that replay, but we never have possession. I need you to even balls like this, even if you can score from this, I want you to now take time with it, because that's the only way you're going to learn. You're not going to learn by sticking to your average stuff here. I'm going to take a shot here. no, I don't need to do that anymore. Even though it might be the best play to do this, I don't need to do that anymore because you need to break that habit of just getting the ball away from you and going back and not making something happen, okay? I now want you to take time. Even stuff like this, I want you to break out of your kind of mindset. Again, completely fine 50 to go for, probably the best thing to do. Try and take time in this position next time. You're probably going to get challenged and dunked, but you're going to learn from that much more than you're just going to learn from always flipping into the ball and always going for the ball with a flip and trying to get 50 and stuff like that. Because that's just stunting us. And I completely believe that's the case because you said that you've struggled to rank up from this rank. Now, a lot of that was from you saying that you have limited time to play. Completely understand that. People with less time to play are typically less mechanical because they have less time to focus on it and free play and stuff like that. That's completely fine. I don't know what your if you have a warm-up routine or if you play ones. I don't know any of these things. If you don't play ones, I need you to play ones because you need to be more comfortable on the ball with possession and doing the plays you actually want to do. Your challenges are perfect. You'll naturally be a good ones player. If you don't have a warm-up routine, you need to get one, okay? If you play an hour every 2 days, I want you to focus on 20 minutes of free play. A third. It's a long time, but it will help you. Because if you're inconsistent and you don't do a warm-up, you're just not helping yourself. You're not helping yourself at all. All right. Yeah, chat. This player is good. This is a good player. Everyone, whenever you see people playing the game, you always think it's worse than it actually is because you're not reacting to things they're reacting to. So it's easier to watch Rocket League than play it. It's always faster when you play it yourself. This player is very good. He just has to fix a couple confidence things and plays, pushing up, it's all linked to confidence, man. If you can fix that confidence, I think, or if you just... Even if you think you have the biggest ego in the world, I want you to actually use it in game because you don't play like you do. I don't know what's going on inside your mind, but you don't play like you have an ego at least. I want you to play like you have an ego from now on. And you're going to be a bit obnoxious to your teammates potentially, but that's the best way you learn, unfortunately. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I don't think I replied to any of the comments last video. I really appreciate all the support on that one, by the way. That video did really good. But I'll make sure to reply to some of these. Leave some suggestions to this player. Be kind with it if you have any. And help each other out in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.